Hi there, I'm Mike Wolf. Thank you for tuning in, and today I'm in fabulous Las Vegas, a place where I used to do a lot of foreclosure work back in the day. That market's since changed. I don't do a lot of work here, but I'm here actually to answer a question today from one of my students in Calgary, back in Canada, and she asked me about what in real estate they talk about the 1% rule. What that means is that when you buy a property, a revenue property, you want the rent to be 1% of the value of the property every month. And she wanted to know my take on that. And here's my answer to that. The 1% rule is a great starting point, but it's certainly not the be-all and end-all. Because in real estate, we make money in two ways. One of them is from basically cash flow that comes in every month, that comes in from the rent. And that's certainly a piece of it. But the second piece of that is we also want our property to appreciate. And most of the properties where you get the best returns on paper are places that are really devastated, places like Detroit and Ohio, places where I don't even want to invest. So yeah, on paper, it looks like you're going to get 1%, maybe even more. Maybe you're getting 1.5% or 1.7% every single month, and it looks great. But you have to look at what are the chances you're actually going to get that in a city where there's high unemployment and there's a lot of there's a lot of devastation in terms of the economy. So look at Detroit. It is basically in really big trouble. The place is really reliant on the auto industry. So yeah, we can see really high rents relative to purchase price, which is great. But when are these homes going to go up in value, and how often are you actually going to get rent? Quite often what we're going to see is we'll see properties for $25,000 or $30,000. They rent for $700 a month. So that's giving you more than, it's 2.3 or sometimes 2.5 times 2.5%. But you're never going to get that. What's going to happen is you're going to have tenants that are going to move in there. They're going to move out because they don't have a job. The home is going to get vandalized over and over and over again. How much are you really going to keep at the end of the day? And also in 5 years from now, is that property going to go up in value if there's still no jobs? Those cities have to reinvent themselves. So I would rather give up some of my cash flow every month in exchange for what really makes me wealthy in real estate, and that's that appreciation over time. Being invested in a market where the homes are going to go up and hopefully go up to double, triple, 4 times their value, hopefully in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I'm going to look at the long term. And so my answer to that is always look at the big picture, not just what's the ratio of rent compared to purchase price, but 2, what are the chances I'm going to see that rent? What are my repair bills going to look like? What's my vacancy going to look like? And where is this property going to be valued in the both medium to long term? Because I can't buy more properties if my homes aren't going up in value and if it's not bringing in revenue. If I'm spending every piece of money that comes in to renovate my properties and pay, if I have a mortgage, to pay my mortgage payments, basically I'm not going to have any capital left over to buy more properties. And at the end of the day, what I want to do is accumulate as many properties in my portfolio, but accumulate properties strategically in good markets that are going up, putting money in my pocket. So I would rather have, 0.6 or 0.7% in a market where I know in 5 years from now, there's a lot of upward pressure pushing those prices up because there's jobs being created, people moving there, people in a position to get ahead where they don't have to vandalize homes to make a living. So my answer to that question is look at the big picture. Don't just focus on cash flow, and don't just focus on appreciation either, because we can't guarantee when that appreciation is going to kick in. I don't want a property that's costing me money every single month while I'm waiting for it to go up in value. So always focus on the big picture. Make sure that one is going to put money in your pocket, but it's really going to do that because we can attract, in a market like Atlanta, for example, we can attract great tenants that have jobs, and even if they lost their job, they have the ability to get another job. And so at the end of the day, we want to get both these pieces of the equation. First thing we focus on is cash flow, but also we're buying in markets where we know that eventually we're going to have that appreciation, which allows us to scale our business. So I hope that added some value to you. I'm going to enjoy Las Vegas. Hope you're having a great day.